The Rotary Foundation Global Grant Initiative was started back in 2010 when the Rotary Foundation decided to rethink how it structures humanitarian global grants. At that time, the Rotary Foundation selected 100 Rotary districts to pilot new ways to plan and carry out humanitarian global grants. The goal was to improve the overall impact that these global grant projects could have on the communities they were intended to help. In 2012, the Rotary Foundation decided to take a team of experts out to 10 districts that were working on water and sanitation projects. The goal was to help these local clubs and communities they were working with to implement a new set of concepts that would lead to improved results and greater positive impacts when the projects were complete. The Rotary Foundation selected districts and countries that were in desperate need of improved water and sanitation systems, and one of those countries was Tanzania. The Rotary Foundation asked Rotary clubs in Tanzania to submit proposals for the installation of major water systems. Rotary clubs from the villages of Mwanga and Same submitted proposals, and the Rotary Club of Same was paired with the Rotary Club of Ames to install new water and sanitation systems for 7 villages in the Same district.
As Rotarians, our work is to help the community, to make sure that the community, especially those who are less privileged, help them to live peacefully, even to have the harmony of their life.
In the past, most projects were generally completed within a year after they began. With these new guidelines, projects would include 1 to 2 years of planning, 1 year to implement the plan, and then follow-up visits and meetings at 18 months and 36 months after the completion of the project. So, from start to finish, it might take 6 to 7 years to fully complete a project. Before the building process could begin in each village, the project would start with a focus on the people. There was a baseline assessment survey to determine what the people living in the local community were feeling and needing, what was important to them.
The social needs, the economic needs of that community, to understand, to establish the situation, education status, healthy status of the community, water and sanitation and hygiene status of the community, but also livelihood. How was the situation before the projects?
The village would need to provide a local water committee to be elected by the village. This step was required by the local Tanzanian government. The committee would make decisions pertaining to the location of water distribution sites, not having any single distribution site serve more than 240 families, and no one needing to walk more than 400 meters to get to a distribution site. The village of Kigogo was the first location selected.
At Kigogo, we had more than 5 water points. They are aligned in such a way that they are closer to the people. Before a distribution point, there is a water meter there, and there is a distribution point manager is there. In the morning, he takes readings of the previous service there. Before closing, then he takes the reading so as to monitor how much has been sold.
There was a great effort to identify water distribution sites, including a site that would feature a water tank for the cattle and other livestock owned by the villagers.
Cattle is a part of their livelihood. So we found that if we just build the system to serve people, we are not fair. Therefore, we thought suggestions from them, and they showed us a place where we can support constructing a cattle trough. The role of that cattle trough is to raise funds, because there are many groups coming there daily from morning to evening. They raise a lot of funds there to add to their account. The fund there can be used to extend, either to extend the project, or they have confidence to replace or to repair anything which might happen there.
Community involvement by the villagers was a key, and they became involved in every stage of the process. It was crucial that they take ownership of the project. A second major key to the success of the project was that people in the village of Kigogo needed to be trained to know the water and sanitation system and be able to operate and maintain it. In previous projects, when equipment might break down or problems would arise, the project would often come to a halt. projects were not built to be sustainable when setbacks occurred. Under the new system, people from the village were to be trained to maintain and operate the system and be in communication with experts so that no matter what problems might arise, the system could be repaired or maintained and continue to operate. From the pump to the storage tank to the water points, operators in the community would be trained to deal with any situation.
Effective training to water users, but also to the water board and to the daily operators of the project. We had a good team of experts from Rotary Club of Ames, but also the district water engineer, the local experts. They came together and developed the training manuals to equip the water board and the water users and the operators.
There would also be regular detailed communication between the operators in the village, the Rotary Club of Ames, and the Rotary Club of Ames, so that questions could be answered, technical expertise could be shared, and the quality system that was installed could continue to provide water and sanitation for the village it was intended to serve. Effective project supervision and resource management were crucial for the long-term success of the project and the water system. Also, it was important that the overall scope of the project include processes and outcomes that respected the local traditions and valued the local leaders. Then, after the construction process was complete, the system would be handed over to the village of Kagogo, and the village would take ownership. Then the village was responsible for conducting 2 major studies after the completion of the project to assess key points and factors that would continue to ensure that the system was running properly and serving the residents of the village in the best way possible. One of the major points in each of the first 2 villages was a major reservoir water tank. This is a tank in Masandare, designed to serve a total of 10 water points and a cattle trough. This was built by the people of the local community with the assistance of experts from the local company to ensure proper placement for the drilling of the well and ensure long-term success of the facility. So there was good communication between the people living in the village and operating the system and the technical experts in the area, with lots of education and learning taking place. One of the first results of the drilling of the well and implementation of the system was the joy and excitement of the school children when they went to see the water being pumped for the first time, carrying their buckets to bring water back to the school. And these children would have a water point right at their school so they could spend less time carrying water and have it right at their fingertips when needed throughout the day.
And now the children are kept at the school since morning up to evening. And we think that that has enhanced their school performance. Water is available there. So children are happy at the school.
The school performance for the children is improving because the children have time to study. In their homes, they get time to refresh for their education because they have time to study.
And the water system was actually seen as a women empowerment program because women would suddenly realize that they had many more hours of time to do other things since they would not need to devote so much time to carrying water.
The women were using most of their time in walking long distance for water. But this time, they go to their economic activities since morning up to evening. So we think something like their livelihood is improving, their income is improving. They engage more in their production activity rather than thinking for water.
One of the obvious and immediate impacts would be an improvement in health. With a safe and dependable water supply, residents no longer had to fetch water from a dirty and disease-ridden source like the example on the left. Instead, the picture on the right shows a much more sanitary process from the new water system, resulting in much lower incidence of waterborne diseases and improved hygiene and sanitation in both homes and the schools.
They have tried to connect water to their toilets so that when they go there, there are wash facilities, and we think it has reduced the prevalences of waterborne diseases. If you visit the healthy center facility there, you never find the incidents, many incidents as it was before.
And this is a very visual example of what it looks like when women don't have to spend all day walking back and forth for water. They can work in the garden, growing food for their families, thanks to having more time and also having access to water to help the gardens grow. As a result, the women have the food and the time to prepare better meals. All of this leads to improved nutrition and food security and better health for the people in the villages. Again, all of these benefits meeting needs that became very obvious as a result of those assessments done early in the process, thinking very big picture from the beginning of the process about all of the many ways that this system could best serve the village and improve overall quality of life. And access to water has also had important environmental impacts for the village. That water is helping the people of the village to be able to grow more trees, and trees are a major source of energy in Tanzania. So again, more progress made as a result of needs discovered through the assessment process. More results of the impact assessment, there was an immediate economic impact with water available to make bricks so houses could be constructed, which made a dramatic change for the village.
The project has attracted newcomers to the village. People are coming there to build houses, provided that there is clean water there. You know, water is a key problem to that community. So now everybody finds that life is easy at Kigogo and Masandari. So newcomers are there. So they are building. The youth in the village are employed there to make bricks, to sell bricks, to build the houses. That is a big impact.
And additional progress in sanitation as public latrines were constructed, which is obviously a major advancement in the area of health as well. One of the many major benefits of the water system was that when farmers would bring their cattle to the water tank to drink, they would pay a fee. And this generated a substantial amount of money, enough money that they could allow lower-income families to obtain water even if they did not have enough money to pay for the water. Also, the money generated from these fees helped the village replace a $2,500 motor that was damaged and would no longer function. So the income generated from the water supply has helped the village to maintain and operate the system thanks to the planning and organization put in place prior to construction.
But also, the cattle trough has created employment to some of the villagers. There are women coming there to vend their food, their drink, their tea, because there are people coming from long distance. The Maasais are coming there with big groups of animals, so they need food. Where do they get food? They get from the local vendors there. So apart from the key objective of the cattle trough, it has served as a part of employment to the villagers.
Also, the clean water was healthier for livestock to drink, which leads to healthier animals and better livestock production, and in the end, a healthier food supply for the people.
The production from their livestock is very high now, milk production, because animals are well fed there, so they produce more. People are now coming to pick, and no one is taking a meal without vegetable there. And we hope this might have increased their food security. And others have established bigger gardens. So we think everything is changing.
A true sign that the project really is nearing completion is the official transfer of operation of the water system from the Rotary Club to the local village. This is a very important step and certainly a reason for celebration. It is not only a big day for the village, but it is highly regarded by the government of Tanzania as well. In this photo, you can see the government sent officials to be part of the ceremony to thank the villagers for their work and efforts and to show appreciation to the Rotarians and to encourage additional water projects between other villages and Rotary clubs and districts around the world. After operation of the water system is officially transferred to the village, and here we see a picture of a local water committee, it is in their hands in terms of long-term sustainability. Hopefully, all of the experience this group and the members of their village have gained throughout the process of assessment, planning, construction, and maintenance will be fruitful. The follow-up assessments at 18 and 36 months will ensure continued interaction and assistance, but the village should now be able to operate and maintain the system.
project is owned by the community itself now. Yeah, they are the owners of the project. The responsible instrument there is the water board, because the community was organized to select the people who are committed, who have knowledge enough, who can learn and who can work and can volunteer. Those are the ones who are assigned to perform several responsibilities of taking care of the project, operating the projects.
And life in the village will continue to be greatly improved as a result of this team effort initiated through Rotary that truly is changing lives around the world.
The Kigogo project has brought a development to that community in every sector. Electricity, we find water, we find the environment, we find the gardens there, the milling machine there. So all these are the factors which are attracting people to come there to build their houses. And meanwhile, the village will grow up, the economy will grow up.
All things which you see now, because of the good communication, a strong leadership we have between Rotary Club of Same and Ames, good reports you are receiving from us, and not only that, we have the devoted hearts to make sure that we change people's life. So, as we Rotarians always, we are service-minded people. Service above self is our business.
All these things has impacted people's life in Kigogo. Yeah, the village is happy and peaceful. We have touched what they were missing as Rotary Club of Same, Rotary Club of Ames, and the Rotary Foundation. We have made an effect change to the life of people there in all aspects, as I have said. And if you don't believe, we welcome you to visit Kigogo, and you will find a new situation, a new voice, a new picture, a new image of the people there.
The main partner for the Rotary Club of Same is Rotary Club of Ames. You have been good. You have been a good partner for us, partnering in water and sanitation and hygiene. So I can say thank you very much for partnering with us in that area to improve the life of people in Same.